I realized that over my adult life, I have not. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Quisha King Show. So, today is going to be a bit of a different type of video. I want to share something personal about myself. So, um, many of you know that, I've talked about I'm divorced and, I have two daughters. And as I have ventured out into the dating world, um, it's been difficult. It's why I'm, interested in like the show that I did about Tia, because I've been out here, trying to date, and I know how difficult it is. And you know, as people venture further and further away from God, they are, it gets even more difficult to find meaningful relationships. And so, I was really interested in sort of the red pill community because a lot of the things that they were saying were true. Also, there's like different sections of that community. There are the ones who sort of believe that all women are terrible. We want nothing to do with women. There's those who think that pretty much everything is a woman's fault. And, it's because, quote unquote, modern women don't want to submit or be feminine, those things. Then there's, I guess, the ones that are more reasonable. There's problems on both sides. Both men and women have had issues throughout the years. Women have had a problem with, being, being these radical feminists, and men have had a problem with being masculine men. And then you kind of, the further left you go, the left you go. And so as I have ventured into this world, I had a big epiphany recently. And I'm talking about this because the family is under attack, and Christian values are under attack. Things that hold a society together are under attack. Our children are under attack. So I think, this is very fitting with faith, family, and our faith, culture, and politics, which is, what we talk about here on the Quisha King Show. So I had an epiphany about 2 weeks ago. I was traveling in Oklahoma. I was speaking, and I was just a not so good conversation with someone. And I was laying in my bed, my hotel room, and I'm looking up at the ceiling. And I said to myself, this is beneath me. And as a lot of people see me as like, strong and confident and, all of these things. And yeah, I am strong in areas. I am confident in areas, but, everyone has their securities or insecurities. Everyone has their areas in their life where they're not so strong. But I realized that over my adult life, I have not valued myself. And when you don't value yourself, you will, and I mean, like in my, you know what? It's funny because I have seen this in my personal and professional relationships where I'm doing things for free when I should get paid for it. Putting myself in just situations, financially and personally don't that aren't indicative of the level of value that I carry. Not in an arrogant way, but in a way that says, just like if you are shopping for a car or shopping for anything, there are certain things that hold more value. Same thing, not in an arrogant way or a conceited way, but just knowing your value. I'm not some, bum on the street. I'm not some, I am a lady. I am, there's things that I've worked on myself to make me a better person. God has made me a better person for sure. Thank God for God. Thank God for Christ. So there are things, I've gone to therapy. I have invested in myself to become a better person, to become a better woman, to become a better mother, to become a better wife. I've, read a lot of the self-help books. I've read a lot, I've really dug into the Bible on what women should be. Not saying that I do it perfectly, but definitely have realized the error of my ways and made real steps to change those things and committed to changing those things. And so when you have invested in yourself, you don't then go and you're presenting yourself, and then you don't go and get something that is beneath the value that you hold. And so I found myself still operating as if I held no value. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I was laying there. This is beneath you. And it was. I didn't deserve to be spoken to that way. My heart's intent is good. I tell my daughters, like, the good things about yourself, don't allow people to make you change the good about yourself. The negative things about yourself, the bad things about your stuff that you need to change, absolutely work on those things. Absolutely. We're all striving for the mark. But the good things about yourself, they should be appreciated. They should be recognized. And if someone doesn't recognize them, that's fine. That's fine. But you should always require that to be spoken to in a certain way, especially when you're not giving, a reason to be, spoken to in a negative way, and just, so certain things, like, you just have to value yourself. So I come home, and I was listening to podcasts and YouTube videos. And I came across, I don't really listen to this woman very often, but she was like, because I've been listening to like relationships and stuff, she was in my algorithm feed. And so I came across this video, and her name was Rebecca Lynn Pope. And she said that to love and to be loved is one of the greatest blessings on the planet. And y'all, I don't know what it was. That's such a true statement. It's nothing inherently profound about it. In some way or another, we've heard that statement before, but for some reason, it just hit me like, just very emotionally. And I just started crying. And I think it was because having experienced what I have experienced in being out here dating and trying to date and have a good solid relationship, you realize that it was another layer to that not being valued, to love and to be loved, and just sort of wondering, like, why, God, like, how come I haven't found that, or haven't been found to be worthy of love? I'm being really transparent, and I'm sharing this because I think a lot of women do this, especially those of us who, as we get older, we hear all these kind of red pill, like, you'll never be married, you'll never, there's nothing there for you, you'll die alone, you have basically, it's a waste, you've just become a waste of a person. And there are many women whose attitudes, whose that they haven't invested in themselves. They do have terrible attitudes. They refuse to change their ways. They refuse to they refuse to try to move into a way of being a biblical woman. There are women like that, but every woman is not like that. And we get lumped into this, all one thing, and we don't get judged individually. And it was just a moment where I just cried out to the Lord to help me understand, like, what is it? And I just, again, realized that you're not seeing your value. And it was just such a breakthrough moment, because you are dealing with people that are just, they don't deserve your attention. They don't deserve your attention. That's just the truth. Like, because when you give something valuable to someone who doesn't deserve it, they don't know what to do with it. And so you are essentially, you're devaluing yourself. And then now you're wondering, how come they don't understand? You're functioning up here and they're functioning down here. And you're like, how come, because you're not operating in the same spaces. Their value is not where it should be. And this is not just personally, this can happen professionally too. Because when you take, for instance, if you take it into a professional realm and you say, okay, well, this is my fee, or this is what I charge. Someone who doesn't see that value, like, oh, I'm not going to pay that. Okay, fine. But then there are other people who are like, oh, wow, they feel like it's underpriced. And then there are some people that will see so much of your value and pay you more. So, you have like these levels of how people perceive your value. And if you do not value yourself, you will sell yourself short, and you will be dealing and operating on a level that is beneath you, personally and professionally. Personally and professionally. And when you say, I will be treated with respect, my services will be treated with respect, the woman in me will be treated with respect, care, and love, you will draw people who don't mind paying that price, because they recognize the value. They recognize the value. And I just wanted to share that with some of you, because we're just inundated a lot with these things, like, the high value woman and the high value man, and the modern woman, and we're getting lumped all into these boxes. Like, you're either this or that. And if you're a woman, you automatically do these things. And if you're a man, you're automatically doing this. And it's like, no, people should be judged individually, because the Bible says that we are beautifully and wonderfully made, that he took time to make you separate from anyone else. And if God says, I'm going to judge you individually, then sure enough, anybody else should be judging you individually and not lumping you in with everything else, especially when it comes to, these personal relationships. And so, I've just had some time to reflect, and I am just renewed in this area. I am so grateful for, sometimes God will use, the Bible tells us that I will use what the enemy meant for evil and turn it around for your good. And he does that for his people. And so, you know, I just want to say, if you've gone through these types of things, shake the dust off of your feet. Keep moving forward, because I am. And you know, I haven't had an easy life. I have not, I've certainly not done everything right, certainly done many things wrong, certainly have been at the foot of the cross for, you know, things that I needed to repent for, things that I needed, you know, God to deliver me from, just many things. And so, you know, as we are growing and learning, and we want more families to be together, and we want to see more marriages, we want to see marriages staying together, it is important to recognize your value. It really is. It is. It is important for, you know, and not just women. It is important for men to recognize their value too. Those men that have dealt with, you know, the issues that they had from their parents, the issues that they had, you know, all of us have these things. All of us have these things that we have to deal with. Some people are willing to deal with it, and some people aren't. Some people think they have been healed, but you know, you can look at, they haven't. They haven't. You know, this value thing of me lowering my standard, lowering, you know, who I am, lowering what I know I deserve. You know, that was another thing that I needed to work on. And so God will, he will restore you. He will, if, especially if you are crying out to him, if you are asking for his help, God will help you. So I just wanted to share that. As we raise our daughters, you know, they need to understand their value. They do. And know that, you know, there's a way that you should be treated, and there's a way you should not be treated. There is a way. And if someone doesn't honor the God, you know, you are made in the image of God, and someone is not honoring that, that is not someone that you need to be with. But anyway, I just wanted to share that, because I really hope that blesses you. It really just but it really just sort of, you know, I know this is not anything profound. You know, you've certainly seen videos on, you know your value, know your value. It just, you think you're operating in your value. You think you are. And then when you realize you're not, it was just really a really profound moment for me. And so I hope that this blesses someone. I truly do. So thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this video. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.